Today we're test driving the all-new Kia Niro, and we're going to do a fuel economy test to see how well it performs. As you can see right now, we have a full tank of fuel, and on this full tank, our fuel range is estimated to be 767 kilometers before we run completely out of fuel. You'll also notice I have my trip meter over here that I'm going to reset right now. And as you can see, I've just reset my trip A. I'm going to do the same with trip B as well. And now they both read 0. We're going to be driving this over the week and see how many kilometers we complete. And after that, we'll head to the gas station to see how much it costs to fill up. So stay tuned. When the efficiency gauge that is on the top left of the gauge cluster is on eco, it means that the engine is powering the vehicle as well as charging the battery. When the efficiency gauge is on power, it means that the vehicle is being powered by both the engine as well as the battery. Keep in mind that although that's the general guideline, it's not always the case, because sometimes, even though it's an eco, the engine and the battery will work in tandem to power the vehicle. We just spent the week testing the Kia Niro, and we have some numbers here we'd like to share with you. As you can see, I have less than 15 kilometers of range left, and I have a warning that says fuel is low, which is really cool because it allows you to search for a nearby gas station just by pressing yes. I just wanted to go over some of the numbers that I have right now. So as you can see, we have 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers, which is the average fuel economy achieved so far. To be honest, this is probably due to highway driving. When I was driving it in the city, I did a lot less city driving than I did highway driving. But when I was driving the city, I was getting as low as 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers. On one trip, I was able to achieve 4.9 liters per 100 kilometers, which is pretty exceptional. So this is our number that we have here, and that's mainly due to the fact that we did around 90% of our driving on the highway. So just keep that in mind as you calculate your commute and how that affects your fuel economy should you buy this car. But let's go over some of the other numbers that we have here. As you can see, we've driven a total of 672.4 kilometers. My driving conditions have been pretty basic. I haven't had the air conditioning or the heating on at all, but as I mentioned, I did around 90% of my driving on the highway and only 10% in the city, just to give you an idea of how I got the numbers that I did. But as you can see right now, we're at a fuel station and we're going to fill it back up and see how much it costs us. And based on that, we'll do some calculations to get a better idea of how much we can expect to spend on a full tank of fuel. As you just saw, we spent $52.36 to fill up 40.9 liters of fuel at a fuel cost of $127.9 per liter. So as you just saw, we spent $52.36 to fill up 40.94 liters of fuel at a fuel cost of $1.279 per liter. What we're going to do now is we'll calculate our kilometers per liter number. And how we're going to do that is we'll take the 672.4 kilometers that we've driven so far and divide that by the 40.9 liters of fuel that we filled up. So 672.4 kilometers divided by 40.9 liters gives us 16.4 kilometers per liter. So every liter of fuel will give us 16.4 kilometers of driving. Next, what we're going to do is we'll calculate our actual fuel range based on my driving. And how we're going to do that is we'll take the 16.4 kilometers per liter number that we achieved and multiply that by the Niro's fuel capacity, which is 45 liters. So 16.4 kilometers per liter multiplied by 45 liters gives us 738 kilometers. So on a full tank of fuel, based on my driving, you can expect 738 kilometers of driving. Next, what we're going to do is we'll calculate our cost per kilometer. And how we're going to do that is we'll take the $52.36 that we filled up for and divide that by the 672.4 kilometers of driving that we did. So $52.36 divided by 672.4 kilometers gives us 0.07 cents per kilometer. So every kilometer in the Kia Niro would cost us 7 cents based on our local fuel rate. And finally, we'll calculate our cost of a full tank of fuel. And how we're going to do that is we'll take the 45 liters, which is the fuel capacity of the Kia Niro, and multiply that by our local fuel rate, which is $1.279 per liter. Now keep in mind that our local fuel rate is slightly higher than the North American average, so that affects the numbers that you get. So if you want a more accurate estimate of how much you can expect to spend, please take your local fuel rate and multiply that by the Niro's fuel capacity, which is 45 liters. So as I mentioned, in our case, it was $1.279 per liter. So 45 liters multiplied by $1.279 per liter gives us $57.55. So a full tank of fuel on the Kia Niro would cost us $57.55. So you might be wondering, why do I get better numbers in the city than I do on the highway? That's because when you're driving in the city, you're actually using the electric drive mode. So, you know, when you have the EV down there, you're actually using it in electric mode. So that doesn't engage the engine as much in low speeds. So you don't have to, you know, start the engine every single time when you try to go from a complete standstill. You might just coast right through in EV mode throughout traffic or whatever low speed situation that might be. But on the highway, you're actually engaging the engine constantly. So that means that little engine in there is constantly being engaged throughout your whole highway journey. So because of that, you're going to get slightly higher numbers. And keep in mind that 6.1 or 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers is not bad at all. It's actually still much less than Toyota Corolla or even the Honda Civic. So it's actually a really good number. But if you do a lot more city driving, you can expect a lot better numbers than if you use this car solely for highway driving. So keep that in mind, and if you have any questions, do let me know.